Hi guys, welcome back. It's a little goat chewing ASMR. Oh, and goat sneezing. How's that for fun? So I kind of quite liked the other video I did the other day when I had a few free moments to sit here and chat with you about the goats while they happily munchied. Oh, or if they're too little to munchie. Did you come in for a visit? Hi. Did you come in for a visit? Oh, that's a big nose. So most of the kids are eating hay. The youngest ones, which are the ones you're seeing kind of not as interested, are still more nursing than eating. Everybody else is eating. Hello, mister. You always come in for your close-up, don't you? So, at any rate, I'm having one of those mornings where I actually thought I was being good. I got a couple of videos and I tested them before I went to the house. And lo and behold, ba-boom, no sound. I figured out the problem this time and it was complete operator error. So one of these days I'm going to actually remember to test things before I record them. So now I'm trying to make up for it by doing another video or two at the expense of getting things done. For those that are new here, hi, I'm Pam. This is Racing for Home Farm, where the animals rule the schedule and I just try and keep up. Nothing here is planned. Everything's unscripted and the animals are cute, so they make up for it. We get what we get when we get it. Sometimes it's cute, sometimes it's just eating hay, and sometimes it's a little of both, because you gotta love the cute. There you go. She's showing her brother who's boss. Isn't that right? Oh, you coming in? You coming to say hi? Hi, sweet guy. So, I was getting my self-organized for today last night, as always, right? Especially on a work day, I try and get relatively organized so I know what I've got to accomplish for the day. And looking at the calendar, oh my goodness, I have to get my show entries in by tomorrow or I will have to pay late fees. And I certainly don't want to do that. So I need to make final decisions on who's going to the show today. And what does that mean? That means I have to brush them all out today. And that thankfully shouldn't be too bad because my contenders right now are Misty, Persephone, and Wren. Wren is quick and easy. She just really needs a clean up on her tush and her hooves done, a brush out, and we'll see if I think she should be in the show. She's going to the show regardless because we're going to show Voodoo, and Voodoo is still nursing. So Voodoo and his sister, Velocity Girl, plus Wren, will be going to the show with us. I just don't know if I'm going to put her in the ring. Persephone, I'm definitely putting in the ring. I just need to get her cleaned up and see how much more work I have to do on cleaning her up. And Misty, I'm still evaluating. Her body condition has come back. I need to get her hooves done. I need to get her brushed out and see how her coat texture is. Sometimes after kidding, right, they put all their energy into nursing their babies. Of course, they also put all their energy into making their babies. So sometimes their coat suffers, right? It gets a little dry. It's not as silky. It's a little bit more coarse, a little crunchy, just like our hair does when we're not full capacity. So I may need to work with her throughout the spring and summer and just bring her to the fall show. Not 100% yet. So I got to get her up on the stand. If I'm not bringing her and I decide not to put Wren in the show, then I might bring Lotus. Lotus doesn't need as much grooming because she didn't kid this year. But she's an older doe. She's got 2 legs to her master champion. She needs 1 more and she would be a master champion. I would absolutely love to put her in the show. I just don't think I'm going to be able to at her age. Oops, sorry about that. I need to figure out, again, if that's even worthwhile. And the reason that these decisions are being made like that is because Ren, Persephone, Misty, and Lotus would all be in the same class. And it's just Farm Hubby and I, so we can only handle 2 goats. Otherwise, I have to hand the goat off to a different handler. And we've done that plenty of times. And thankfully, in our, with our breed, with our group, we are always happy to help each other out. And we're happy if, we're handling a goat for somebody else and that goat wins. We do the best we can. There's no sabotage or anything nasty like that going on in our group. So I could do that, but it also sort of defeats the purpose if you put 3 of your own goats into the ring, because again, you're diluting the attention that your goats are getting. Arguably, you're potentially taking a win away from one, going to another. It's a mix. I've done both ways. At one point I had taken all of my goats. They were, this was several years ago, more than several years ago, frankly, when the goats were all younger, and I just took the whole herd, and I had goats in every class and every ring, and I was using, borrowing handlers left and right. And that was fun, but I've kind of run out of that, right? Some of my goats have aged out of the ring. Others are, they're more of a foundation level goat and they're not show worthy. And still others have master championed out. And so there's no need to bring them. So I'm kind of down to these last grouping and need to make some decisions. I'm definitely excited to hear what the judges have to say about Voodoo. He's not going to win anything. Let's be really clear. His coat hasn't started to come in yet. And he's going to be competing against babies his own age, where their coats are twice as long as his, and they will get all the attention from the judges. So there's no chance he's going to win even a ribbon, right? If there's 4 goats in the ring, he could get a 4th place. That's what I'm expecting. If there's more than, did you fall down? If there's more than 4 goats in the ring, he won't even get a ribbon. And I am perfectly fine with that, because what I'm actually looking and listening for and want the judges' opinions on is his conformation. The coat will come. I'm not worried about that. Just because he's growing it a little bit slower than some of his compatriots, I'm not worried at all about that. I want to hear their opinions on his top line, his ear set, his hock set, his overall stance. I think he's really good in that sense. And I just want some validation of that as I put him into our breeding program. Coat is coat, right? It's subjective in terms of whether the judge likes their color or the judge likes the texture, but the coat is what the coat is, right? It's either long and flowing and silky or it's not. That's not going to change based on a judge's opinion. What might change based on a judge's opinion is I might come home from the show and say, wow, the judges pointed out some flaws with him. And of course he has flaws. Every goat has flaws. But I didn't notice these flaws, or I didn't see them as dramatically. And now that 4 out of 8 judges have pointed it out, I don't know, I'm making things up, right? Then I may change my mind about putting him in my breeding program, at which case he'd still be young enough to weather. And that is the key for me. That is why I'm paying to put him in the show. It is worth that cost, especially as I think about putting him in my breeding program, to get the opinion of 8 judges and just hear what they have to say about him. A ribbon or getting a little recognition, being toward the top of the class, or heck, even at the bottom of the class, if the class is small. I have no idea how many goats will be in his class. Would be fun, but that's not the point for me. The point for me is getting real thoughts and real positioning on him as a breeding animal. So it's been about 10 minutes now. And these guys have about finished half of their hay. The kids are starting to get bored with it. So we're seeing a little bit more activity from them. I'm going to go give the rest of the barn their hay. I really have to get to work. People are at some point going to start looking for me. And then I'm going to groom a whole lot of goats after work today. So the exciting part for you guys, if you've been here a while, is, I usually do a grooming session and post a grooming video every Saturday where I groom and chat, and we talk about all sorts of weird topics that randomly come to mind. Not much different than these conversations. But so our grooming sessions will start up again. I'll have 3 hopefully recorded with sound today, and that means I've got 3 more weeks. I only have 2 weeks until the show, so next week I'll be doing possibly the same 3 goats again with baths, and then the day before the show, I'll be doing those same 3 goats again for their bath before the show, plus Voodoo will get a bath, which is really cute. So you may see the same goats repeated quite a few times in the next couple of weeks. Actually, it would be like the next couple of months. But that'll give me time to stack up because I've got to get everybody done for their spring grooming. And we'll start our grooming Saturday morning sessions again. All right, guys, if you're still here, thank you so much for listening to me prattle on. You actually help me think out loud sometimes and make some decisions. So if nothing else, that's valuable for me. And if you are still here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me, please. And if you haven't hit the subscribe, or if you have already hit the subscribe button, the next best way to help is hit the little thumbs up. That like button also tells YouTube to share my video a little bit more broadly, get some new subscribers in, get some new viewers, and that helps these animals out because people don't know that mini silky goats exist, and they don't know that they make fabulous pets, and the only way for them to learn is to see them and know about them. And I'm going to leave you with my little guy munching one giant piece of hay. And until next time, I got work to do. Bye.